Profit. Today I wanted to answer the question if you can choose as a seller to not accept returns on eBay. We know that eBay encourages us as sellers to accept returns, but can you as the seller choose not to? And the answer is yes and no. I'll explain what I mean. So, for example, I'm on a listing page, right? Just say I'm creating a listing. Like 2/3 down the page on the left hand side, you will see the option of return options, right? And it has domestic returns options and international return. It says domestic returns accepted, international returns accepted. If you check any one of these boxes, you're saying yes, I'm willing to accept returns, domestic in the United States, international, anything that went overseas. If they want to send it back, they can send it back. So you have that option, right? You can click on it or you can not click on it. So that's what I mean by yes. The thing is, sellers don't pay attention to these, I should say buyers don't pay attention to these small details. They just buy something and they don't really check to see does the seller accept returns or not. That's a whole nother thing. But why I say no as well is because if a buyer purchases something from you and they just know that they want to return this item, they're going to go to eBay and start the return process because it's right there. If they go to their orders, they'll see that they have a return option and they can click on that and initiate a return. Now, eBay gives them 4 options when they're returning an item. And those options are, for one here, it says that maybe they received a damaged item. They can choose that. They can choose it doesn't match the listing. Or is the wrong item that was sent to them. And lastly, that they change their mind about the item. Now, you receive the damaged item is pretty self-explanatory. They're saying that this item is not working. This item has a blemish, a stain, whatever. But it also, here, it doesn't match the listing description. That can be the color is wrong. You listed it as burgundy, but it's actually maroon. Ask me how I know. Or you just send the wrong item because you're packaging so many different items and you send the wrong one to the wrong address, whatever. And lastly, this one, again, is pretty self-explanatory. The buyer bought the item, but they just, they don't want it anymore. The thing is, these 4 options are presented to them to choose one. And this is why I say, no, you don't have the option, because if the buyer chooses that they receive the damaged item, whether that's true or not, eBay does not give you an option. As long as they choose this option, you have to take the return. You have to accept it. Same here. If they say that the item does not match the listing description, you have to accept the return. There's no option. Now, when you get that item, you can inspect it to see. And the truth is, if it is damaged, well, what can you do? You have to refund the item, the money to the buyer. But just say, for example, they say the item is damaged, but you got the item back and there's no flaw, not one flaw in the item. That could be just because the buyer, they know the system. They know as long as they choose this option, you don't have a choice as a seller. Or they just choose an option because they just want to return the item. They didn't even pay attention to either or. There's not much you can do. You can, if you can say, well, I'm gonna appeal this because whatever. Don't waste your time. Trust me. eBay will tell you, well, you got your item back. Just send them back their money. That's fair. We're not there to see exactly what's happening. Just let's, they take this neutral stance. And you can say, well, it's a waste of your time as a seller. There's nothing wrong with the item. They just wanted to send it back. They changed their minds, whatever. But they chose this option. So the fact that they chose this option, you have to take it back. So that's why I mean by no. Now, if they say they choose the option like, they change their mind about the item. Well, eBay will actually tell you that when they return, they will allow the buyer to initiate a return. But on the return, you'll see it come in, return requests come in on your eBay app or, if you're on your desktop. But you'll see eBay will give you an option saying, but you're not obligated to take the return. It'll say your buyer has initiated a return, but you are not obligated. Now, you still have the responsibility you still have to accept or decline. You can't just ignore the return because you got to accept it or decline it. That's within your power. But again, so yes, you can choose not to accept returns, but when it comes to these little options that buyers have, and buyers should have options, because as sellers we're not perfect either. We can mess stuff up too. But as long as they choose any of these, or of course this one too, it's the wrong item that's been sent, you have to um, accept the return. All right, guys. So hope that answers that question for you. Like the video, leave a comment if you have any questions, and see you guys next time. Be kind out there.